So how do you create a brand that truly represents who you are and the products you sell, as well as building a business that you can scale online? That is what this podcast will help you do. My name is Henry Kaminsky Jr., and welcome to the Brand Doctor Podcast.
Let me just make this statement loud and clear. Jersey's here, Jersey's here, Jersey's here.
What is shaking, everybody? Welcome to another Brand Doctor Podcast episode. It is a beautiful Friday afternoon in New Jersey today, and I am super excited to get this party started. So today we're going to be talking about an interesting question, and the question is, why do I need a full discovery session, a full discovery phase before kickstarting a rebrand for my business? And so I'm going to break this down step by step here and give you guys a better understanding of what discovery is. So it helps you as a business owner make better decisions. But here's what happens when what's the word I'm looking for? When we try to go around doing strategy or doing any sort of discovery before actually building what it is that we want to build. So there's a few things that may happen here. Raise your hand if this sounds like you. Maybe you feel under pressure to just deliver on whatever you're trying to create, right? Perhaps we're just excited. You know, I just did this Strength Finder questionnaire through Gallup this week, and my number one strength is activator. So I could totally relate to other business owners out there that want to just get things going and get things rocking. So it may be that you're just excited and you want to just get going with it already, right? Or you might feel like strategy or discovery is some sort of a luxury that you can't afford. So we're just going to bypass it and we'll just build this thing out, whatever it is, and we'll see how it goes. Well, we'll get into why that's a huge mistake in a few minutes. But the other reason why we may think discovery is a waste of time or not necessary is we convince ourselves we know enough to start. Like, I know all of that stuff already. We could get going. When in fact, we completely overestimate what we actually know and underestimate what we don't know. And that could lead into some big, big problems later on down the pike. And then lastly, perhaps you don't take the time to honestly evaluate the strengths and weaknesses so you can hone in on the true value that your business delivers. So those are some things that may make you want to skip this phase in building your brand or building your business or building anything out for this matter. But I'm speaking specifically here when it comes to building your brand. Like, you're cruising for a bruising if you fall victim of any of these, because you're really, really doing yourself a disservice. I'm going to tell you why in a second, right after this quick little message. If you're a business owner who feels your branding isn't truly representing the value that you deliver, check out this free video training that will help you level up your brand's messaging and online presence so that you can start attracting higher quality clients. Visit www.uniquedesigns with a Z at the end, not an S, .net/level up my branding. All right, so why is it a must to do a full discovery or strategy before kickstarting a rebrand? Okay, so here's a few things that are super important to keep in mind when you're coming around for a rebrand or you're considering a rebrand for your business, especially in 2021. So it's very, very important to benchmark your current brand's existence in the marketplace in order to track the metrics of success of the rebrand. So one of the first questions I ask my clients is, what are the metrics of success that we are going to use to let us know whether or not we're going to be a good, this rebrand is going to be worth it, right? And then we start laying those bricks down. Because if we can't measure it, then why do it? Okay? So it's very, very important when you're going through discovery to understand where that benchmark is of your current brand's existence and where you want to take it, right? The next thing is this. A great discovery or brand strategy focuses in on objectives and not just deliverables. All right? Here's a funny story for you. It literally happened yesterday. I was sitting here doing some work and I get a bot message pinged me on Slack, and there was a guy on my website that was going through the one funnel away challenge via ClickFunnels, and he reaches out to me and he says, I need a funnel done. And then he kind of ghosted a little bit, and then I get a text message from the guy, I need a funnel. And then he says, I got copy, but I just need a funnel to go with the copy. And I said, well, is the copy any good? Is the copy any good? And he's like, well, I don't know. I said, but you're ready to do a funnel? I said, before we do a funnel, it may be in your best interest to get a better understanding of what your objectives are for this funnel and not just worry about the deliverable of getting a funnel designed. And so it just so happened that this guy was his budget wasn't even close to what we do when it comes to building funnels and brands. So I referred him to somebody else. But I think I triggered something in him that slowed him down, and perhaps it helped him not invest in a funnel just yet, because who's it to say that funnel copy sucks? Or I should say, what if that funnel copy sucks and he goes and gets this funnel built and it's not going to help him achieve the objectives that he's trying to achieve. So a great strategy or a great discovery before a rebrand focuses in on the objectives of the entire brand and not just, we need a new logo, we need a new website, we need a new funnel. I hope this is resonating with you. I hope you're starting to understand here the importance, right? The other thing is this: failing to understand what the prospect wants or needs is very, very dangerous. Very, very dangerous. You can easily start building functionality and content that nobody cares about, which will lead into a huge waste of time, money, and energy. I've seen this happen a gazillion times over the past 14 years, where they start building out things and they start creating content, and it is so far from what their actual clients want that they wind up having to redo everything. Hence another rebrand. So very important to understand what your prospects want, and what we do when we do a thorough discovery is understand that stuff, because that's what's going to help really move the needle. Okay? The other thing discovery does before you get started in building funnels or rebranding your business is it reduces costly mistakes, misunderstandings, and unnecessary functionality. I'll say it again. When you have a great discovery before a rebrand, it will reduce costly mistakes, misunderstandings, and unnecessary functionality. When I talk about this, is important, guys. The costly mistakes is when you build something out and you launch it and it falls flat. I've seen this 1,000 times. I was in Jeff Walker's, product launch formula thing a few years ago, and I was in his Facebook group, and I was watching all these people launch these things and these products and services, and they would, one by one, would come back. It's not working. It's not working. It's not working. And I'm sitting here going, because you didn't establish the brand first. That's why it's not working. The other thing about misunderstandings, if you don't have a thorough discovery prior to a rebrand, when you go to design this stuff and you're working with a digital or creative team, you better believe that they're not mind readers and they're not going to know any of this stuff. That's why our projects come out so great. When we send people through the Brand Accelerator program and we get into the design, very, very rarely do I have to go back and change things or redesign things, or it's very rare. At most, we have to redesign it once, because my creative team is there from the beginning. They have access to all the strategy, all the discovery that I do with the client. So before we start designing, my team and I go through all of that together. So there's no misunderstandings. Listen, this is who we're designing for. This is what it needs to look, feel like, and sound like. Have at it. Right? And this is how we're going to attract the ideal client. Because this ideal client consumes this way. Got it? So that's what a strong discovery and strategy does when it comes to rebranding, is it helps let all that out. Okay? The bottom line, guys, the great discovery and strategy before a rebrand will give you context, which leads to stronger creative and business solutions. Okay? It's going to give the full 360. And that creative team is going to know exactly what needs to happen to make this rebrand a success. So there's a couple things that I want you to think about here and a couple questions for you. So, do you have the clarity of all that's required for a successful rebrand? Because there's probably a lot of underlining things that you're not focusing in on because you're just not aware of them. Bottom line. Okay? The next question is, do you understand the end user of your product or service? What are their goals? What are their pains? And I'm not talking about demographic here. I was talking to somebody on a Facebook message last week, and I said, who's your ideal client? And they said women from 30 to 65. I go, a 30-year-old woman has much different needs, wants, and aspirations than a 65-year-old woman. So how can you speak to them the same? So right then and there's a lot of discovery that would need to be had in order for that brand to actually get any traction. The other thing is that I want to ask you is, without clear goals, there's no way of assessing whether or not the rebrand's a success. And this should be very, very important, because this is the game plan. This is how we're going. This is the strategy that's going to take us to war. If that's not tight, we're dead in the water. The other thing a great strategy could do is define ROI up front. So what is this rebrand all about? And it's not just about, the rebrand isn't a success just because the digital team got it done on time, and it may look prettier or sound prettier. What is this rebrand actually going to do for the business? And then define those metrics of success up front. So we have some benchmark here. We have some things to measure. So my question for you today, guys, is this. What if your digital team, whoever you hire, understood the end result that you were trying to achieve better than anybody else? Understanding the underlying drivers of your brand and not just the solutions to the problem that you're facing. That's huge. That's huge. Imagine the suggestions they'll come up with. Solutions you had no clue were even possible or even existed. So the reason why a discovery and strategy is so monumental when it comes to rebranding is it because it unpacks so much and it lays such a strong foundation down for you to take your brand to where you want it to go. So without a clear vision, it's easy for a project to lose focus and direction during the production of this whole thing. That's why it's so important, guys. You cannot put the cart before the horse. And unfortunately, I see this happen over and over and over again online. And then they come back and they say, Henry, we should have done our homework up front and gone through this. It's actually going to save you tons of time, money, and energy in the long run. So I want to offer you guys a little something today that I started doing. I've been doing it for a while now, but I'm really making it a point to push it because I feel like this is going to help so many of you when you're building your brand. And that's going through a brand assessment with me. So it's about a 45-minute conversation. You and I will sit down and just understand where we're at, where we want to go, what are the issues involved, what are the core objectives, what are we trying to do, and come up with a plan on how to get there. So I invite you guys to check out the brand assessment on my website. You just go to uniquedesignswithaz.net, and right there you'll see book a brand assessment with Henry. And I encourage you to take this time with me because it is going to really help you get a direction and focus before you waste a ton of money on a rebrand or a funnel build or putting together a brand. So again, go check out that brand assessment now. And let's get you in the right direction for 2021. It's going to be a huge year for a lot of people if they take action and do the proper steps and do the proper diligence. What you put in, guys, is what you put out, is what you get out. That's the bottom line. And honestly, I heard this today on my walk. I listened to a lot of personal development stuff on my walks in the morning, and this one was great. They said, you can't fix the kitchen by painting the outside of the house. I'll say it again. You can't fix the kitchen by painting the outside of the house. So when you're rebranding and you're putting together your business, it's an inside job, guys. It's an inside job. Building it out's the easy part. So Have an amazing day, guys. I hope you got some value out of this. Don't forget to hit subscribe, drop a review. Let me know how this is resonating with you. And if this is helpful, tag me on Instagram at @rebrand. And you can catch me on YouTube, LinkedIn, and Facebook as well. Guys, have an amazing day. And I will catch you on the next episode real soon. Hey everyone, this is Henry Kaminsky Jr. again, and really quick, I want to invite you to a one-on-one consult with me right now if you're looking for the clarity and focus you need to build your brand. Over the past 13 years, I've served hundreds of entrepreneurs that have great products but struggled tremendously with articulating its value to their ideal customers. You didn't get into business to just change a few lives, did you? Your ideal clients need you. And when your brand has precision-crafted messaging coupled with beautifully thoughtful design that sounds, looks, and feels like you, they'll know you're the perfect match for them. If this is something you're struggling with, what I want you to do right now is pause this audio and go visit www.uniquedesigns with a Z at the end, not an S, .net, and book your one-on-one consult call with me. Remember, the quality of your brand will determine the quality of your clients. And the quality of your clients will determine the quality of your life.